Welcome to day 54 of the New Way. Yesterday you read about Peter and Andrew and James and John being called by Jesus to follow him. We were told that Jesus called and they answered immediately. But Luke tells us the inside scoop behind that call. That's why I'm so glad to be able to see all 4 manuscripts side by side. Here's Luke's version of the very same incident. I'll read Luke 5, 1 through 11. One day, as Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, the people were crowding around him and listening to the word of God. He saw at the water's edge 2 boats, left there by the fishermen who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little from shore. Then he sat down and taught the people from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets." When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, "Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. And so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. Then Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid. From now on you will fish for people." So they pulled their boats up on shore, left everything, and followed him. You need to know that the Lake of Gennesaret is just another name for the Sea of Galilee. We see Jesus using Simon Peter's boat as a place to sit and teach so that more people could see and hear his voice. Water is a natural sound amplifier. Then we see Jesus performing a miracle. Simon Peter had fished in this sea all his life. He had never seen a catch like that. When Simon Peter saw the size of the catch, he knew that this was something that only God could do. What do you think was the purpose of this miracle? How important do you think it is to be totally convinced that Jesus is the Son of God? I love to read the works of people who took the time to really dig and study and research in order to know for sure that Jesus is who he claimed to be, our Messiah, the Son of the living God. Many of these people researched for a negative purpose. They were trying to prove that Jesus was not God. But through their research, they became totally convinced that he was and is God. That's the testimony of C.S. Lewis, of Josh McDowell, and Lee Strobel, to name a few. These 3 men changed from being negative toward Jesus and instead became powerful and influential writers and speakers for him. That absolute knowledge of the truth empowered Peter and Andrew, James and John to leave everything they knew and follow Jesus, and eventually to die for the truth. Are you totally convinced that Jesus was God's Son in a human body? In his service, Dale.